Back in 1962, Wilt Chamberlain was doing something special. He was averaging 50 points per game. Not only that, as it got later in the season, Wilt was putting up some amazing numbers. He had a couple games in the 70s, and one night on March 2nd, 1962, approximately 63 years ago, the Dipper went nuts, scoring 100 points against the New York Knicks in Hershey, Pennsylvania. He hit 36 of 63 from the floor, 28 of 32 from the free throw stripe, and the Knicks fell 169 to 147. I make reference to this game because there was a recent video on YouTube by Pablo Torre Finds Out. And he reports on things besides sports, but he has a lot of sports-themed videos. And I just came across it accidentally. Came out less than 6 days ago. And it's called Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game, the truth, the tapes, and the legends who were really there. And the reason I bring up this video, and I'll leave a link in the description, is that Pablo probably does the best documentation on a video of proof that Wilt Chamberlain actually scored 100 points on March 2nd, 1962. There's a lot of millennials and zennials and people that are a little ignorant of how history works and how reporting of history works, and they won't believe something unless it is videotaped. Now, we have full documentation of the second highest scoring game by an individual player in NBA history, and that's Kobe Bryant's 81-point game. Many people have seen that many times. But you get videotape back into the 60s where they were basically the networks were erasing over their prior games to save on videotape because it was not very cheap. And so a lot of these games were not videotaped or even recorded in any way, shape, or form. Well, this great video by Pablo Torre not only busts all those myths about proper reporting of a basketball game, he goes to the archives in Hershey, Pennsylvania, where a person actually reveals an actual recording of the entire fourth quarter of Wilt versus the Knicks, basically. And it's just incredible. He also interviews Gary Pomerantz, who came out with a book titled Wilt 1962, a book I read approximately a year ago. And Gary Pomerantz, basically, I think he did this in the early 2000s, attempted to talk to as many fans, as many family members, as many teammates and players before they passed away, and got the scoop on how Wilt did it. How did he score 100 points? Documenting it as best he could. And in this Pablo Torre interview, he speaks to Gary, who also reveals clips, audio clips from the cassettes or whatever he used to record interviews with some of the key figures in this game. And obviously, Wilt had passed away in 1999, so he couldn't really interview Wilt, but this book does cover a lot of the bases and further proofs this actually occurred. These are the images of the 1962 Warriors. And this little Fleer basketball card set is just a classic. And you can see there's about, you can see Phil Jordan of the Knicks. You can see players on Al Attles, Guy Rogers. It's just a cool way to kind of show off what was going on in 1962. There's Al Attles, who passed away. You know, just incredible players. There's Thomas Sherry, who at the end of this video, Pablo Torre interviews 86-year-old Thomas Sherry. And that's just a treat in itself, because Thomas Sherry, if many people know, shoots straight from the hip. He doesn't hold back any punches. And earlier in the interview, I don't want to give away too many spoilers of the Pablo Torre interview because it's just one of the best I've ever seen. Gary reveals a recording of Darryl Imhoff, who was assigned to guard Wilt Chamberlain for much of that 100-point game. And Darryl Imhoff basically called the game a farce. And he called it a farce not because Wilt didn't score 100 points, but by the fourth quarter, Wilt needed about 30 points. He scored 69 points through three, needed 31 points for 100. And the Knicks weren't going to be the team to give up that 100 points. And Darryl and many of his teammates were stalling. I mean, there was a 24-second clock, but they were running the clock down on purpose. And in what kind of game they were already down 20 points. In what kind of game, and Gary points this out, if you just showed up at the arena at this game, you wouldn't realize what team was down 20 points because the Knicks were literally trying to stall down 20 points a game. And the Warriors, by contrast, were trying to foul so they can get the ball back. And this was probably with 10 minutes to play in the game. So the finish of this game is not the prettiest. And that's why Darryl Imhoff, the center for the Knicks, called it a farce. Darryl ended up fouling out in less than 25 minutes, I'm pretty sure, in this game. And like, what kind of game would you see that? A team that was actually ahead trying to foul so they can get the ball back and increase their lead, lay it on, so to speak. But this is pro basketball. This isn't some college game or high school game. These are professional players. Joe Rucklick, who dished the ball to Wilt for his 100th point, the power forward, he basically was interviewed by Gary and told them that the game was, the league was Bush at the time. There was only, 8, maybe 9 teams. I think 1961, 62, there was a 9th team, the Chicago Packers with Walt Bellamy, and was just kind of downplaying it a little bit in that respect. At the same time, he wanted his teammate to get point number 100. So once again, watch the video. Pablo Torre finds out, and it'll tell you everything about how truthful this game was and how amazing this was. Tom Meschery's incredible at the end. He even wrote a poem about that night and about Wilt at the end of the video. So it's a definite must-watch. It's one of the more entertaining YouTube videos on Wilt's achievement than I've ever seen. So there's Wilt 1962, came out early 2000s. I was just going to do a quick run-through of my library of books. And I have not read all of these books, by the way. I've only read about half of them. This book I got probably when I was a kid. Wilt Chamberlain by George Sullivan, life story of one of the great basketball players of all time. There he is at Kansas. But anyway, little kid's book, 50 cents back in the 60s. Still showing him with the Philadelphia 76ers. This one I picked up at the old, as a kid, I got it for like $2 with my folks. I was a young kid. This is probably the late 1970s. And this is Wilt, just like any other 7-foot black millionaire who lives next door. Believe it or not, I have not read this. I've had this thing for 50 years, 40 years, whatever. My copy actually came with 2 slipcovers, which I really didn't know until... And back then it was $6.95. Like I said, we got it for like $2. It was sitting on a Fred Meyer / Kroger one-stop shopping store. And I started reading it a couple years back, and it was just kind of Wilt being a little full of Wilt. It's hard when he is writing, doing first person, talking about how hard he worked and how great he was. I was just having trouble, at least at that time, keeping up with it. Maybe I'll definitely be reading it eventually. But once again, it's in really good shape. And I really, I need to get more insight on Wilt, of course. Now, one of the reasons I bring this up, a Wilt topic, is I just finished this book last week. And this book came out around 2003. Wilt had passed about 4 years prior. Robert Cherry, who was also a Philadelphian type of guy who knew Wilt in some way, shape, or form, I can't even recall what it was, wrote this book and did a really good job. It's not off the wall, incredible book, but it's also not one of those books that follows every single game Wilt plays. He interviews a lot of very close people to him in his mansion, Ursa Major, whatever he called his home in the Los Angeles hills, an incredible home that he had built for himself, and he entertained a lot of people. The biggest thing I draw from Wilt is he basically was larger than life. He was up probably 21 out of the 24 hours of a day, most days of his life. He was in very good condition into his 50s. Of course, he was, even after he retired from the Lakers and a failed attempt to play in the ABA after there was a reserve clause on his contract with the San Diego Conquistadors. He still was wanted by the New York Knicks in 1975 because some guy named Willis Reed had just retired. And then later on, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Philadelphia 76ers came calling when he was approaching 50 years old to come and play a few minutes a game because the league was still centered around the center, the big man. And eventually, we're in this day and age where the center is not as big a deal. But back then, I loved my share of big centers in the 1970s and 1980s. And this book is really good. It talks a little bit to his agent, his bookkeeper, his longtime girlfriend, his sister, who tries to keep his legacy alive. Really some good stuff in here, and why Wilt stayed, his habits of having a lot of women, how he dealt with the press, how he dealt with his teammates, why he was, sent packing, from San Francisco to the Lakers, and why he wanted out of Philadelphia, even after having 2 MVP seasons and nearly winning back-to-back championships in 67 and 68, and then completing his career on the back end with the Lakers and winning another championship in 72. And really, when Wilt I'll make this last statement, when he came back from a serious knee injury in 1970 to come back for the playoffs, it reinvigorated a lot of fans, not just LA fans, but around the league, that Wilt really wanted to play and really loved the game, because he had a serious injury that could have been career threatening. And he came all the way back after playing, about 9 games, suited up for 3 late in the year so he could be ready for the playoffs, and took that Laker team to 7 games against the Willis Reed-led Knicks. The Knicks ended up winning the game. The Lakers just came out flat in Game 7 of 1970, and the Knicks got their title. And they also did the same thing to the Lakers in 73. But Wilt was an amazing, larger-than-life personality, physically, and much more than that. The final book I have, I read this quite a while back, and this is, of course, the 20,000 Women book of Wilt the Stilt, and it's pretty well done. I was able to read it. I'm going to have to read it again. It's been a long time. They have the former Twin Towers in the picture. He was Wilt the Stilt. He did not like being called Wilt the Stilt. He'd like to be called Dippy or the Dipper. Those were much more preferable names than something that pretty much latched onto him because he was extremely tall. But either way, that is the stories that I have of Wilt Chamberlain, and he is a legend and will always be known as one of the great scorers, rebounders, and big, larger-than-life personalities in NBA history. Jumping from 1962 to about 1973, this is Wilt's final season in the league. I'm going to see if I can show off this guy's card. I don't know. It's hard to do. The cards are extremely small. And this is Wilt Chamberlain with old school Strat-O-Matic Pro Basketball. This is the first year they came out with this game. It lasted through 1979-80, I believe, before they revised the game and came out with the Strat-O-Matic cards that you're far more familiar with. So anyway, this is the Dipper, And I just assume we're going to be taking virtually all inside shots for him. I'm still learning the game. I hope to play some Los Angeles Lakers versus Boston Celtics of 1972-73 gameplay. What I am going to do is I'm going to try to play a few quarters. I might come back, do some video of some fourth quarter action because I want to get used to this game a little bit, get into the flow. A couple things that I do know about the game. There's some advanced solitaire rules. I don't know really how to place this here, but it says in advanced solitaire rules, and this is mostly for defense, it says position centers both offensively and defensively inside or outside on the playing board. And that's kind of where it's all covered up here. I probably will not be utilizing the board except for just the time clock and to hold the cards, not utilizing every one of these things as well. And it talks about this positioning is assumed to be constant unless a change is to be made. Defensive guards and forwards need not be positioned on the playing board. All rules of the advanced game prevail with the following major exception. Dice to determine an eligible shooter and the type of shot to be attempted. Roll two below. The left-hand column indicates the shooter's tendency to shoot outside or inside. Numbers found in the right-hand column indicate that the defensive player is playing close. Missing numbers indicate that the defensive player is playing back. If the center shoots, you need not follow the above procedure, as positioning of defensive center has been predetermined. It is suggested that positioning of defensive center has been predetermined. It is suggested that a player should refrain from shooting, excluding rebound shots, for at least 2 shots after attempting a shot. No provisions have been made for this double teaming. So, and there's a shooter tendency, and you roll a dice to determine if the defense is playing close. So if I have a 1 shooter, which is strictly an outside shooter, I roll 2 to 7 and 11. That means the defense is playing close. Otherwise, they're not playing close. They're playing back. Now, I don't think I will be using double teaming in this game. That's a third column on a lot of these cards. And I've got to get down these types of shooting, 1 diamond through 5 diamonds on each player as well. And from what it seems like, I'm going to have to really kind of be creative in who gets the ball a lot. And I know Wilt Chamberlain probably averaged less than 8 shots from the field per game, but he also gets fouled a little bit as well, so he can average just 13 points per game. So he'll get the ball here and there. He'll probably get the ball a lot on offensive rebounds as well, so that'll limit the number of shots. You got to kind of make this thing a little bit accurate when you have a player is touchy on field goal attempts like Wilt Chamberlain. You know that West and Goodrich are going to get the ball a lot. They're going to have higher shooting ranges so that when they get the ball. So we'll see how that works out. We'll see how the Dazzlers work out. What was the other thing I was going to look at as well? I have to continuously look at split numbers as well. I might bring in my 1 to 20 die versus I called these FACs. I was kind of corrected by a number of people who called in. They're mostly possession and rebound cards. And so you're making a pass from one point to the other, somewhat similar to the modern game, but really this card is very limited in its use. And there's just some rebounding numbers, some passing numbers, some possession numbers, and each one has that 1 to 20 number on the bottom. I was looking to shortcut that and maybe be a little more random by utilizing the 1 to 20 die. And a lot of plays will roll out with these dies as well. Now, one thing this will be just at the end of the game when I have assist and rebounding totals. You're not going to get a rebound necessarily off every single offensive play. They'll just give the ball to the other team. Kind of a weird backwards thing that modern day, even games from 1973 didn't do. And they say at the end of the game, multiply your rebounds times 3 and your assists by 4. at the end of the game to determine the totals for the players. Now, that sounds like they're just trying to make it up, and I can understand that, but I'm not going to be utilizing that as well. I probably will use like one of my fast break dice here and say a 1 to 6 roll for that rebound. Just give a random rebound, maybe 5, 6 for the center, 4 for the power forward, 3 for the small forward, and depending on how good rebounding the guards are, maybe a 1 or 2. Just kind of randomly give it to the guy, and I think I'll still get rebounding totals that'll be reasonably accurate because the good rebounders are going to rebound more than the others. So maybe I'll do something like that. It's just not my thing to multiply times 4 and times 3. So you put your little modifications in. So we'll see how it works, and I can't wait to get into this, see if I can develop a flow with the original Strat-O-Matic Pro Basketball from 1973. Before getting to the next topic at hand, I was going to say we reached 700 of subscribers at Rod's Tabletop Hoops. Small milestone there, but I thought I'd mention it. Hope you're enjoying the content. There's a PDF document that circulated through Delphi forums a few years back. You may have seen this, you may not have seen this, but it's the Strat-O-Matic review from July of 1973. The scan of this 24-page document is devoted exclusively to Strat-O-Matic game fans with the consent of Strat-O-Matic Game Company, which I found that quite interesting. Now, I have downloaded this to my computer, and I will be sharing this at my Tabletop Basketball board games page on Facebook. So be looking for that shortly after this video releases. This is a real interesting document because it was part of my research for Strat-O-Matic Pro Basketball, the original game. And it talks about the Strat-O-Matic convention and everything. I think I can pop ahead. It says preview of new SOM basketball game on page 3. And the new game is the original. It's not the game that you're more familiar with that came out in around 1980-81. And this is the original. And let's see if we can find a little bit of documentation on that preview. I think it is page 3. Maybe it's page 4. I don't know. Let's find out. Basketball Ready, newest SOM game. And it says a new member has been added to an exclusive club. Strat-O-Matic Pro Basketball is ready to make its first appearance on tabletops all over the country. After 2 years of extensive research and testing, Strat-O-Matic has released its newest game, making possible year-round SOM play on a seasonal basis. Hundreds of thousands of sports fans all over will now have the opportunity to play realistic baseball, football, and basketball games without a break in the action from January through December. Well, that sounds like an addiction to me. Early indications on the basketball game make it appear that the hardwood sport will be just as big a hit as the others too. Unlike so many other basketball games, it won't be just a shooting contest. Players will shoot, and often, sure, but you as coach often can pick the player, a little awkward there, providing he's eligible, releasing the shot and whether it'll be from the outside or on a penetration. Offensive players will be rated in both categories. Defensively, players will be rated against outside shots and also penetration or driving shots. Bill Bradley of the New York Knicks, for instance, will be a tiger against an outside shooter, but will be mauled by an aggressive, hard-driving big forward. The top defensive centers like Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Nate Thurmond will not only affect their opposing center's offense abilities, but also influence the action of the opposing guards and forwards. Team defense will also be important, with double, even triple teaming part of the advanced version of the game. Now I'm going to make a note about this, the double and the triple teaming. That virtually requires you to play a two-player game as opposed to solitaire. It kind of hinders the solitaire. There are some solitaire rules in this game that I will touch on as we move along. So it also says the game is 2 games in one, a basic game for 10 to 13-year-olds, an advanced game by adults. So obviously the basic game, just like every basic game, has a little less detail. The advanced game is highlighted by some dazzler passes. That's all I can say, in addition to some individual offensive and defensive rebound ratings, which we'll cover as we do a short gameplay of old school Strat-O-Matic Pro Basketball. They say the NBA will be included, 170 players, 17 teams. The ABA will be a possibility for next year, but not during the first season. So, and it just goes on and on. It brings up the Walt Clyde Frazier example card, a part of it, a Freddie Carter basic cards. You can see what the cards look like. So this is the kind of thing that just puts Strat-O-Matic game players in a frenzy. And I'm not going to get any further into this because I got to play a little bit of game with this video. It says less than 60 minutes. That probably would be true if you played it enough. I'm playing my first game, therefore it's going to take me quite a bit longer to play this original Strat ball game. But it keeps going. The 17 teams are $10.50 along with all those game parts. So you can also have a gift special set. That must be a lot of the ones I saw on eBay. Includes the Knicks, Celtics, Bullets, Bucks, and Lakers. See, I almost had that. I've got the Knicks, Celtics, Bucks, Lakers. I also have the Bulls and Hawks. So I don't know, I've got a real special gift set. But when you're going to spend $5.50 for 5 teams, why don't you just spend the $10.50 and get all 17? I don't understand why you'd get partial seasons, but I guess it was a little more. $10.50 was quite a bit of money back in 1973. And there's a elementary defensive card as well for the Milwaukee Bucks. But there was obviously a lot of excitement in this Strat-O-Matic review issue, Volume 3, Issue 5, July 1973. Okay, the first half is in the books with old Strat-O-Matic Pro Basketball. Celtics leading the Lakers 60-53 at the Boston Garden. And I have an admission to make. I played 1 full quarter utilizing Strat-O-Matic Pro Basketball, the original game. And that quarter took me probably about an hour to play my first ever quarter of it. Got a little frustrated with it. We'll explain that as we play a few minutes here. And I resulted to utilizing PTG basketball for quarter number 2. And I had a lot more fun. So basically this video, which originally was centered around, and still is centered around old Strat Pro Basketball, is going to be a multi-tiered review. And not just Strat-O-Matic Pro Basketball, the original version, but the PTG Pro Table Games Basketball by Big League Company. In addition, we're going to talk a little bit about Computer Basketball by Wayne Wiskow. These are 3 of the better games available for the 1973-74 edition, 72-73 season of cards. So, as I said, I interchangeably utilized the PTG cards for the second period. And believe it or not, there is a roster difference between the 1972-73 cards issued by Strat-O-Matic and the 1972-73 cards issued by PTG. Can you guess which player on the Los Angeles Lakers is different? Because typically, you utilize the top 10 players in order of total minutes played if you're just going to have 10-man rosters back at this time, this place. Now we're getting 11, 12, 15, 18, 20-man rosters. Big difference. But back in the day when you didn't have extra players, you utilized the top 10 with very few exceptions. Well, the Lakers, for the Strat-O-Matic side, decided to omit a player who was 10th in minutes played, and that is Harold Happy Harrison, who played 28 games, grabbed about 370 boards or whatever, and was a key cog for that first third of the season. And they decided to ignore him in lieu of one player named Travis Machine Gun Grant, who barely played during the season. Probably played, might have had 50 points or something, barely played. Well, let's take a look at the stats. We can take a look at that. 33 games, 4.6 minutes per game, 44% from the field, 88.5 from the line, 52 rebounds is what he had. 3.8 points per game. So the folks at Strat-O-Matic decided Happy wasn't good enough for their team. But PTG certainly had no trouble putting Happy on the team, and I was very happy about that. So if you look at my halftime stats where the Lakers are trailing by 7, Happy played a nice 12-minute quarter in the second period, because that's the period I played with PTG basketball. The Lakers of the Strat genre don't have Happy, so I can't start the half with Happy in the lineup. It'll be Bill Bridges, who played almost the entire season after being acquired from the lowly Philadelphia 76ers, the 9-73 76ers, and he definitely filled the bill and was a very durable power forward for the regular season and the playoffs. He played all 82 games, and he's good for about 10 points and just over 10 rebounds per game. And Bill is one of the classic rebounders of all time. So, but anyway, I found that an interesting note why Strat-O-Matic would omit that. Getting back to the gameplay. Now, I gutted it out, to say the least, to be honest. In that first quarter, trying this game for the first time, it's got a unique set of features. These orange cards down here, they are called split cards, and they provide passing features and rebounding battles, rebounding situations. And there's some interesting rules associated not just with the solitaire gameplay, but some of the incidentals. They want you to roll a little pre-roll going to the solitaire rules based on the shooter's rating. If you got 3 stars, 2 stars, or 1 star, 1 through 5 stars, kind of like the updated game in 1981 of Strat-O-Matic. And certain players, if you got 1 star, you're an outside shooter. You got 2, he shoots more outside but penetrates a little. The 3-star players are the best all around because they can go inside, outside, wherever you want them to. 4-star guys generally don't shoot outside too much. They're pretty much inside guys. And the 5-star guys are Wilt Chamberlain, basically. 3-footers and in. You do not want to go outside with those guys. So Dave Cowens is a little bit of an exception. I've been using him outside, which gives me a little more freedom from Wilt, who's not going to defensively leave his interior back position. He's not going to guard Cowens up close. Otherwise, Cowens might drive around him, and that would not be good. The Celtics won 68 games, as you may know. The Lakers won 60. I always seem to come back to a game between LA and Boston, one of the biggest rivalries of all time. And so, we start the second half. And what you have is a game timer over here. As you can see, it starts at 12. Well, the game timing mechanism is interesting in itself, and every field goal attempted is a clock move. In addition, any non-passing turnover where you don't have the passing situation created, that's a passing situation, yeah. And that didn't seem to happen too often anyway. Those turnovers do not count as clock moves. And if there's a foul, that is also a clock move, and a turnover offensive foul is a turnover and a foul, so that's just one clock move. So PTG, by contrast, is just the number of shots, field goal attempts taken. We're talking field goal attempts only in this respect. So We're going to play as many minutes here as I can feel, if I feel up to it. See how satisfied I am, and probably finish this game with either PTG basketball, computer basketball by Wayne Wiskow, and let's see how it goes. But anyway, there's always a jump ball at the start of each half, and I can use the jump ball chart. That's an easy one to remember. You can see the jump ball right here. It's a matter of luck. For me, I'd probably give Chamberlain an advantage over Cowens, but then again, the team has to scramble around wherever that tap goes. You know, you can always steal the tip. So let's just give it a little roll here, and that's a 9. The 9 says the visitor has the ball. And this referral chart, unless I was playing the basic game, is not used hardly at all in this game. I thought it might be utilized in the advanced version, but it is not. So I said visitor, right? I rolled a 9. Got to double check it. My brain is not working today. Let's see. 9, it's the visitor. That is the Lakers. They are down by 7. So basically what you end up doing, and I'm going to probably overroll a little bit, but they want you to keep that one white dice roll always available for the next play. And I'm not going to do this very well because I'm already off. Let's just assume, okay, I'm going to roll the dice. All right. And I've got a 4. Now, 4, you look at every player that is in the Lakers lineup, and they have to be at least a shooting of 1 to 4 to be eligible. And of course, McMillan's a 1 to 6. 1 to 3 Bridges, nope. Chamberlain 1 to 2, nope. 1 to 6 West, and 1 to 6 Riley. And I think I'm going to take Riley out and put Gail Goodrich in the lineup. All right. Gail Goodrich is in the lineup. For the Celtics, I was noticing my lineup here, and I noticed Westphal was in the lineup and Havlicek was at guard. Well, JoJo White picked up 4 fouls in the first half. That's my bad. Therefore, I'm going to keep the Havlicek at the left guard, Westphal at the right guard. Slide Donnie Nelson over there to the right forward. You got a pretty strong lineup still with those 68-win Celtics. So the Lakers, as I said before, there's 3 guys that qualify for this dice roll of 4. So I can choose which one I want. Now, let's just start off and say I'm going to go with Jerry West. The issue with this one die roll, it's kind of a pain for me because it's like I want you to narrow this down. You are the game. You are the players. I don't want to have to choose from 3 out of the 5 in the starting lineup almost every time to determine who's going to shoot. They say, well, if West shoots, you might not want him to shoot on the next possession, or Chamberlain shoots, you might want to at least wait 2 or 3 possessions, or whoever. I found that not a very wonderful ball management system. I mean, I'm going to come out with stats that are probably somewhat decent, but it's a little too much work for me. I'm not crazy about the fact that it's so random. And maybe in the future I can integrate, and I've heard other people do it, integrate the regular FACs with this set of cards, because it is a cool looking set. The cards are fairly detailed, and they do make some sense. I just have trouble when you have to make so many decisions over and over again. So anyway, let's just say Jerry West has the ball, and I'm going to roll the dice, all 3 dice, and we got to determine also, because it's a solitaire game, I got to determine if the defense is playing close. I'm going to keep Jerry West outside. We're going to roll these 2 dice here, and that's a 6. Jerry West has a 3 shooter tendency, which means the defense will be playing close on him. You can't see that chart, but it's a different range for every level of shooting. Most of them are 2 to 5, 2 to 6, 2 to 7, and another number. So Jerry will be played close, and we're going to see what we can do with this roll. And I roll a 2. So the outside shot close, you look there, it looks like opponent defensive rating, basket or no good. So let's just use this white die as the defender die. And that's a 3. John Havlicek at defensive guard. Let's see. Where's his defensive rating? On the outside is 1 to 5. So, God, those fonts are small. So 1 to 5 means that John Havlicek has stopped Jerry West on that shot. So Jerry, unfortunately, has missed 5 shots in a row. That is a clock move. Now, this is where it gets kind of strange. It appears that after you have a play done like that, with few exceptions, the defensive team takes over. And I think this was a time-saving feature. And so what I've been doing, I've been just giving a random rebound to the Celtics, a 5. We're going to probably give that one to, we'll give that to Paul Silas. Just kind of, otherwise I will not have as many rebounds as shots taken. And so there's another small fault. They want you to, under the incidentals rule, they would like you to take the total rebounds, because we're not counting rebounds many of the times, of each player, multiply it by 3 at the end of the game, assists times 4 at the end of the game. And there's very few assists that I've noticed this game. So anyway, some workarounds trying to speed up the game a little bit. Now, what they really want you to do here, let's take that last 3, even though I just utilized it, and utilize that for the next possession for the Celtics. So the 3, you look at all the players. There's a 1-5 Nelson, a 1-4 Silas, a 1-6 Cowens, a 1-5 Westphal, and a 1-6 Havlicek. So what do we have there? We have 5 players eligible for the ball. Not a fan. I'm not a fan of that. So here we go. Who do I want to give it to? I can give it to anybody. Let's give it to the guy who has a poor defender on him, say. Let's just say Paul Westphal, who's only a 42% shooter. But that makes most sense. And Paul's going to be positioned outside, so I'm going to determine an outside shot, although I could penetrate occasionally. Another one of many things. He's got 3 stars. He penetrates sometimes. He shoots outside sometimes. I've been relying on the jump shot mostly for the guards. And so I roll the dice, and I roll a 7. And based on a 3 diamonds, the defense will be playing close. No, the defense will be playing back. So anyhow, I roll all the dice for Westphal with the defense playing back on an outside shot, and what do we get? We get a 5. Outside shot, 5, back. We got an X, so it's good. Whoops, wrong way. 2 points for the Celtics, just like that. Clock move, just like that. And that's the first points of the half for Boston. So it is moving. But is there an assist? We don't know. Is there real ball movement here? If you're going to go into the minutia of having so many players available to shoot a shot, we should have a little more directive. There should be a little bit more poignant. We're going to go to Goodrich on this play. We're going to go to West on this play. You might have to develop your own system with this game. I think they want you to be creative. And another thing, of course, they want you to play 2-player basketball as well, because you kind of both are supposed to set up your own play. You're supposed to key on a certain player on defense. You can choose to double team a player on defense. Utilize some of the spots on the board that I've got covered up for back and close. So there's a lot to this. I think one of the reasons they transitioned to a new version of the game 8 or 9 years down the road from this 1973 was the fact that it isn't a very good solitaire game, I don't think. And that's probably where my struggles lie here. Because I like the cards. I like them. We don't utilize a lot of these features, though. But either way, Lakers have the ball. You work off the white 1 there. And once again, you realize that every player is eligible. Now, I've got Wilt Chamberlain playing 18 minutes in the first half, going 0 for 3. He's a 73% shooter. I'd love to have him get the ball this time. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the Dipper. I want him to get his first points. I just hope they don't have to use the defense of Cowens, which is the equivalent of excellent, I think. So anyway, Cowens will be playing inside. I don't have to even roll the defense. We know he's going to be playing, close on Wilt, because he can't shoot from, he's not going to play back. And anyway, Wilt is going to get a 10 on the close, and it says foul 1. So that's going to be a foul. I've been giving it to the player across the hall, across the way. So Cowens has foul number 1. They did not shoot one-shot fouls in 1972-73. That was the first year that they didn't. So it just looks like it's going to be a clock move for a foul, and Lakers retain. Oh, I should have kept that white die down there. Who cares? Okay, here we go. 4. And looks like no Bridges or Chamberlain, but I can go to Gale. Let's go to Gale because he's being guarded by Westphal. And we got a 10. Let's roll this, see if he's playing close. We're going to do Goodrich has 3 diamonds like West. 11. That's 2 to 6 and 12 defense playing close. So he's playing back. Goodrich rolls a 10. And there's 2 pluses there, and that refers to double teaming. There's not another player in the lineup that's being double teamed. Therefore, that is a missed shot for Gale Goodrich. So we'll move the clock. And once again, this is a little ambiguous, but it just appears that Boston takes over possession without a rebound battle or anything. So during a regular game, there's going to be a lot of rebounds that are just automatic. So I think that's where this comes into play. I'm going to roll a 3 off screen, and I'll give that rebound to the small forward, Nelson. And the Celtics, I'll pre-roll that. The Celtics, let's just roll the dice again. And that's a 3. And that makes almost everybody eligible for the shot. I'm going to go with Westphal once again because he's being guarded by Goodrich. He's a little taller. Let's see what happens here. The 3 on Westphal, who is also a 3 diamond shooter. Goody will be playing him close. I'm going to roll an 8, and let's see where it ends up. It looks like shot missed, rebound situation. So a shot missed by Westphal. And that moves the clock. Rebound situation. We finally get to break out these cards. I had a point in the first quarter where I was going to utilize this on every rebound because at least there's a rebound battle. But then I realized that the Celtics grab virtually every offensive rebound that way in many cases because they're such a good rebounding team. The result is going to be the offensive center. So the question is, can Dave Cowens grab the offensive rebound? His offensive rebound rating is 1 to 5. So if I roll 1 to 5, he gets the offensive rebound and actually can put up a shot as well. And he's going to grab the offensive rebound. And he will be going up with a shot. And is that defensive close? I can't remember. Let's see. Penetration. No defensive move. I'm just looking at the rebounding feature. So Cowens rebounds. You refer to the close section on the inside. And Cowens rolls a 5 on the close section on, well, it's not even close. It's just that section. A 5. One-man defense. Opponent defensive rating X or no good. And once again, I rolled this 2. And the inside defensive rating is 1 to 6 for Chamberlain. So once again, great defense being played. Missed by Chamberlain, move clock. And once again, we get that random Lakers basketball. Because there's no battle for the rebound, I'll give it a 5. I'm going to give that to Wilt, 5 and 6. And the Lakers are in possession suddenly. So I'm going to just re-roll all 3. And we have a 6, which means the big 3 once again get to shoot it. McMillan, Goodrich, or West. Let's go with McMillan. And we'll determine whether he's being played close or not. McMillan's got 2 diamonds. That's an 8. So outside shot, McMillan being played close, a 4. And there's a foul on Don Nelson. Nelson moves the clock. Lakers retain possession. Let's just do another roll here. Everyone's eligible. Let's go back to Jerry. And West, he's going to be guarded. Let's see here. That's a 9. Defense will be playing back. West with a jump shot on 7. Defense playing back. And there is a basket. An automatic basket for Jerry. Move the clock. Let's see how I've been keeping up on the score. 62-55. Yeah, we're not scoring in bunches here. But that's a basket by West. And it also said passing situation to the opposing team. I don't know if you can read that below the 7 there. So whether I make it or miss it, there is a passing situation to the opposing team. So here we go with the passing situation. And these are always kind of interesting. That's left forward to left guard. So the left forward for the Celts is going to be Paul Silas. Not as good a passer as Havlicek or someone like that, but you look at Silas's passing down here, and you can see there's dazzlers and turnovers, and it's a 5. It's a turnover for Paul Silas. Okay, and passing turnovers do not count as clock moves. It's almost like a fast break in some ways. So the Lakers will get the ball right back. And the ball is going to, we'll use 1. Let's go Goodrich again. Let's check and see if he's being guarded closely. Lost my score. Is Goodrich being guarded closely? That's an 8. He's 3. Yes, he's being guarded closely. We roll an 8 as well. So Goodrich outside 8. Shot missed rebound situation. So a missed shot bar. Gail Goodrich. Lakers hitting 41%, Celtics 40%. Not shooting the lights out. We got some good defensive teams here, but the score is relatively high. So rebound situation. And we got the offensive left forward, and that is Bill Bridges. So, Bill Bridges, you roll 1 die for Bill. His offensive rebounding at the left forward slot looks like it's 1-6. Do I even have to roll? I guess I don't. So, Bridges grabs an offensive board, has the immediate ability to go up with the shot. So, we're going up with an inside penetration shot for him. Being guarded close, that's a 10, and a 10 is a turnover straight across. Turnover is a clock move. It's 9:51 left in the period, and the Celtics get the ball. Interesting flow of events, isn't it? I'm really just not perplexed, but just interested to see what was going on in the minds of the Strat-O-Matic folks during this era of basketball. And during this era of tabletop games, as a matter of fact. So we're going to go with some Celtic ball here. We're going to pre-roll the dice here. We'll pre-roll the dice here. And we've got ourselves a 3, which gives the ball to pretty much anyone we want. We haven't been to Havlicek in a while, so let's go Havlicek. He is a 3, which is the best overall shooting ability. He is a 6, and defense will be playing close. Let's try and do a penetration for once. So I roll a 3 penetration, playing close, and close penetration. It is good, and he is fouled. Great play by Hondo. So Havlicek scores. We'll give the foul to Jerry. Blatant great Jerry West. We'll shoot 1 free throw. And that's a 6. And you can see, just like the modern day Strat cards, 2 to 8 and 12. It is good. 3-point play for Havlicek. He kind of needed that. He's now got 12 points in the game, which is tied with JoJo White and Paul Silas, of all people. So that was a pretty quick score, 66-55. The hometown team with 66 points. Both teams are shooting .407 from the floor, which means they've probably taken the same number of field goal attempts. The Celtics, I find, are a pretty darn good offensive and defensive rebounding team all around. The Lakers have definitely got some good rebounders in Chamberlain and Bridges, but the Celtics rebounding extends to almost all players, including their guards like Art Williams and Don Duck Cheney. You know, those guys are great rebounders too. So I think that was pretty much the secret of the Celtics of the 60s, and it continued into the 70s. The Celtics did not always have the best shooting team in the league, but they were always right there at the top of the rebounding, where, you know, Dave Cowens and Silas could each grab 1,000 rebounds for the Celtics, although the Lakers had their own version with Wilt Chamberlain and Happy Hairston and or Bill Bridges in this case. So interesting set of an interesting comparison. That's why I picked these two teams. I've really not played any 73 Celtics that often. I might have played a computer basketball game with this same team, but it's been a while. So let's go to the Lakers. Pre-roll the closer back. Might do another driving one. I like the drive. Well, we got a 5. And that limits us to Jerry West or Goodrich or McMillan. And let's see. McMillan's only got 2 diamonds. I probably don't know if I want to penetrate with him or not. Yeah, I'm going to roll all 3 of them again. We're going to go with Gail Goodrich penetrating on, it says defense playing close, penetrating on Westfall, defense playing close. We got a 7, defense playing close, and it looks like a basket and a passing situation for the opposing team. So 2 points for Gail Goodrich. He's got 14. And cuts it to 9. Passing situation for the opposing team. It's always interesting. Right guard to right forward. So you start with the right guard slot. Paul Westfall, he's got a couple dazzlers. He's got a percentage shot. Let's find out what he does from the right guard position. Okay, well, it's 50-50. We got a 50-50 ball here, and that's a 1. That's a dazzler. So Westfall, right guard to the left forward, which is Paul Silas. Instant basket for the Celtics. Shot, move the clock. And that's one of the few times you have a registered assist. So that's why they've got those incidental game rules at the end where you just multiply your assist times 4 or something, and it's not very accurate. So anyway, let's do a couple more plays here. Lakers have the ball. I'm going to pre-roll everything. Might try a little more penetration. That was kind of fun. Got an 11. We got a 3. Pretty much everybody qualifies but Wilt. And let's give it to Jim McMillan. Go back outside this time. 3. Yeah, we'll go McMillan. He's going to roll a 9. 2, 9. So he's not going to be playing close. He'll be playing back on him. And he rolls a 9, playing back on an outside shot. Shot missed, rebound situation. So we go down to 9:05. McMillan, no good. Rebounding situation. Oh, yeah, I can see here. Situation says defensive left guard. Can the defensive left guard? That's Havlicek. Well, looks like defensive rebounding at guard. He's 1-6 anyway. And so he auto gets that one. Celtics leading the rebounds. No, it's tied at 35 on the boards. I thought the Celtics had a bigger cushion on the boards, but they get the ball, and I'm going to pre-roll a couple of these things. Celtics. We got ourselves a 2, and a 2 means almost anyone's eligible. We haven't gone up with Cowens yet. I'm going to keep him outside. So let's do an outside shot with Cowens with Chamberlain in the middle. There's a 6. He's a 3, so that's going to be... Now, I can't. He's already playing back, so I'm just going to go back on this. And I rolled a 5. Let's see what Cowens has on a back. 5 outside shot. It's good. So Dave Cowens advances the clock with a made jump shot, and that's 70 points for the Celtics, or 69 according to my stats. Yeah, 69-57. So Lakers have the ball. Let's see what we can do with it. Let's use that. Now let's roll that again. Okay, that's a 5. And that makes most people eligible, except for Bridges and Chamberlain. Let's go back to Jerry. Let's do a penetration for Jerry West. And that's a 10 with a 3-star. That's going to be playing back. We'll do some penetration here with Jerry. We've got a 9 over here. Jerry penetration, and it's back. And it looks like we got a foul too. So give a foul to Havlicek. That is 4 fouls on Hondo. And it looks like 2 shots for Jerry. He is 2 to 8 and 10. That's a 7. That's a 9. So it looks like Jerry will be off the rim on the second free throw. I just basically used my old rebounding chart from Fast Break. I've memorized 6 is a power forward with a rebound. Just make it quick and painless. Rebound, power forward Silas. And the Celtics will come down. Let's pre-roll a couple of these. Very dice roll oriented, which was typical of the time. PTG and computer basketball are pretty much dice rolling in charts. This is a slight advancement with a FAC-like card. So 4. Ball is going to go to, let's go to Don Nelson again and have him penetrate if we can. Defense on a 2, because he's just a 2, which means what does that mean? Is he almost always shooting outside? Most frequent outside. Well, maybe I should stay outside then. Let's stay outside, because it doesn't sound like he penetrates much. And how's the defense on a 2? A 6. That's going to be playing close outside. 8. Shot missed, rebound situation. So we move the clock. Rebound situation for the Lakers. Well, it's going to be the offensive center. And he's got a 1 to 5 for Cowens. I wish that was bigger. That is way too small. And we'll see. Yep. Offensive rebound, Dave Cowens. He was a very good rebounder. And he's going to go up inside. And that's a 6. And Big Dave is going to get a basket 1 to 5. So I got the extra 20-sided die here. And it's no good. Move the clock again. And based on all I've read, the ball is now in the possession of the Lakers. I'll give Chamberlain that rebound. 0.6 rebounds. Not really feeling the Wilt Chamberlain today. I might feel him a little bit more if I play a little more of this game with PTG. I'm just not feeling like he's doing anything. So here we go. Little bit of defensive presence, very little. Lakers with the ball. They got the 6, which is the big 3. We'll go back to Gail Goodrich. And we'll pre-roll this. Try an outside jump shot with Gail. Or maybe we should penetrate with Gail. He's an all-round player. That's a 10 with 3 stars. So they'll be playing back. He's penetrating. We rolled a 9. And they're playing back. Foul 2. We're going to give it to Paul Westphal. I could always randomize that if I want, but less dice rolls is better. Let's do the free throw shooting with Gail Goodrich. And that's a 9. Swish. 4. He's got them both. So Gail Goodrich, if he can avoid foul trouble, has 16 points. And that's where I'm going to do a little bit of a pause right now. We'll have the Celtics with the ball. I'm probably going to switch this up to either PTG and or Computer Basketball by Wayne Wiskow and see if I can get this game moving a little bit more smoothly. Anyway, that is a sampling of Strat-O-Matic Old Strat Basketball. Making the quick transition to PTG Basketball, my big league company. We're going to play some breathtaking realism and exciting statistical accuracy. Let's compare the flow between original Strat-O-Matic and PTG Basketball. Each player is assigned 1 through 5 in the ball possession chart. Each team has a team shot selection card, so there's a little bit of order involved here. Players will get the ball on demand based on who you have in the game. So that number will fluctuate. They're given a base number like S1 for Goodrich. He'll be S1 all the time. I don't really know why I even put a little tag. I created that little tag for him. But the Celtics have the ball here, set of 8:19. I've got 8:15 on the clock doing the translation from Strat. And the Celtics have the ball. This game's quite simple. I've got play charts that you cannot see off screen. I will kind of indicate what they look like a little bit, but here's the Celtics possession. And basically the 2 red die refer to who gets the ball, and the number here is red. This is a 6, and this is red as a 35, like an APA. So a 6, Celtics will get the ball to the S2. The S2 is JoJo White. He rolls a 35, and the 35 is going to be a 38. And there's some bigger cardboard charts, but I've got my own paper charts. A 38 missed. Ball bounces out of bounds. Off rim after deflection of shot by defender. Credit offense with a team rebound. So all that jargon means is I believe it's a block shot by the opponent. I'm going to give Jerry West a block on that. A miss to JoJo. A clock move. And an offensive team rebound for Boston. So we just retain possession. We play again. Very simple. Here's a 9. That's an S1. S1 is John Havlicek, and he gets a 63. 63 is a 17, and a 17 on the boards is missed rebound to offensive left forward unless the following are in play. These modifiers include a defender that's D. Well, his defender is A. Defender class 4? Nope, he's a class 2, so those do not apply. So the original roll, 63-17, applies. Missed rebound to offensive left forward. Havlicek misses. We move the clock because only in PTG you just move on missed shots. Offensive left forward is going to rebound, and that is John Havlicek. So he basically missed, grabbed his own shot, and the Celtics once again show their rebounding strength. We re-roll, get a 7. That's an S3. S3 is the big redhead Dave Cowens. He rolls a 55, which is typically a good number, and that's a 1. Score, move the clock. A 1 is probably a slam dunk in my mind, so just like a home run in APA baseball or something, a 1 is not stopped by any defender. And so then you can check also retroactively 7. You can check an assist over here at Westfall or Silas. And Westy's not in the game, so we'll give an assist to Paul Silas. Other people re-roll for an assist as well to randomize the assist. So I'm not going to do that just for time purposes. Here comes the Lakers. And you can see we got a 9. S4. S4 is going to be happy, and he gets a 64. And 64 is a 4. Now, that's going to be a modifier. The Silas's defense is a defensive rating of 3. So, a 4 on a defensive rating of 3 is still good. So, move the clock, give Happy a field goal. I put him instead of Bill Bridges because I'm just a big fan of Happy Hairston. And 9, you check for the assist. It's either West or Chamberlain. And West's name is first there. I'm going to give it to Jerry on this particular play. Maybe I'll give it to Wilt next time. Or I could have rolled a die or something, but not a big deal. Just an afterthought assist, and the Lakers are up to 62. They're only down 9. Here come the Celtics, and that's an 8. Ball goes to the S4. S4 is Paul Silas. You get a 32 on Paul. 32 is a 10. What's my defender? It's another defensive rating. Defender is going to be a B on this 10. So you look at a 10. Defender B says good. So Happy was unable to stop Silas. Move the clock. 73-62. And assist on that play. An 8 roll is a Havlicek. So we'll give an assist to Hondo. And the home team maintains their lead as we get close to the midway point. But you already see there with the PTG version, there is a little bit more structure as who gets the ball. And it's, in this case, prior to the future strat, this is what I prefer in 1973. We're going in our time machine. Here we go, 6. And that's an S2. So let's see who that is. That's going to be Jerry. And you roll a 13, which is an 8. And we have a defender that is an A. And the 8 is still good. So count it for Jerry West. 6:45 left on the clock. West had not been shooting very well. Is there an assist on that play? We can say McMillan. That'll work. And the score is 73-64 now. Lakers pull back within 9. Celtics come down. They get a 3. And a 3 is going to go to S4. S4 is Silas. We roll a 22. 22 is a 23, and that's an automatic miss. 23 through 26. No modifiers. And defensive right forward rebounds. So we move the clock for the missed shot. Silas no good. Pretty easy to follow along. I don't even need to move my ball marker to see who's got the ball. Not necessary. Much easier than some of the games from today even. So very simple though. It's got a lot of simplicity. Lakers with the ball. There's a 7. And that is S1. That's going to be Jerry. He throws a 14. 14 is a 43. That's an odd number as well. I don't know what we got on a 43. That's a close. Oh, palming the ball. Defense takes ball. So we don't move the clock on turnovers. But the Celtics get the ball right back on the palming call. They don't call that anymore. Here we go. 2 S2. S2 is going to be JoJo White, 62. 62 is an 11. And the defender is an A. So a defender A on an 11, that's a forced miss. So good defense by Jerry. Miss by White. C31 for the rebound. Let's see what we got here. 31. Missed rebound to offensive right guard. So they're going to say Chaney. As long as his number is higher than the opponent, and he's got a 9, Gale's got a 5. So Chaney will grab the offensive rebound. You can see the rebounding strength of the Celtic guards right there. And so the Celtics will retain possession. And there is 6 minutes to play on the next shot here. 7, S3, that's going to go to Cowens. That's a 14. It's a 44, another odd number way down the road here. 44 is traveling on Dave Cowens. So no shot still taken. All this stuff's occurring within 15 seconds of each other here. 8, That's an S3. S3 is Jimmy Mack. 46 for McMillan is a 2. His defender is an 4, though, so that 2 is normally really good on almost everybody, but with great defense of Havlicek, it's missed C38, so we're going to move the clock. McMillan struggling against the defense of Hondo. And the 38's that weird ball bounces off rim, deflection shot by defender, offensive team rebound. So we're going to give Havlicek also a block on that play. But a team rebound to the Lakers. So we have 6 minutes left to play in the third period, and the Lakers lead this one. The Celtics lead this one by 9 points. Leading scorers in the game, 16 for West, 16 for Goodrich, and 16 for Paul Silas. All right, our third iteration of this hybrid basketball game is Wayne Wiskow's Computer Basketball. This is the original game box. There's also a couple of charts off screen that I need to utilize for rebounds and for defensive checkups. And this is by far the largest footprint of any game that I own, so that's why it's a little wonky looking here, because I'm just trying to show the whole thing. The charts, here's the old game charts. I'm using the newer ones, but either way, there's your defensive lookouts and your rebound charts. So I'm using the modern version. Wayne came out with a new version of Computer Basketball last year, a 50th anniversary edition. And so now I'm going to be playing the final few minutes of the third quarter with this setup right here. There's offensive and defensive cards for each team, and the game plays relatively smoothly. I've been more inclined to utilize field goal attempts for the game clock, where it has very different ways of moving the clock, so I might just for a couple minutes do it that way, just to for ease of use, ease of play. Anyway, I got a 50-sided die if I want to use that as well. I can't remember. I can use the 2 10-sided dies for free throws. He's kind of encouraged that. And we got some offensive plays right here where you roll on the grid here. There's a 2 through 12 offense and defense. You roll 2 through 6. It's going to be on the Lakers offensive card for possession. 7, and I use 8 as a defensive check opportunity. And then 9 through 12 is going to be a defensive check as well, and that works depending on who is on offense. So, for instance, we roll all 4 of these dice, and it's a really pretty simple game. And each player is rated with an A, B, C, or D. I've kind of wrote a little placard here. If it's an A shot, it's an outside shot unguarded, inside shot unguarded, outside shot closely guarded, and inside shot closely guarded. So that's pretty much it. And let's play. Lakers do have the ball down by 9. Let's see what happens on this opening play here. And so I'm going to call, gosh, I can't remember if I used the 7 for the... I think I go the white die. Let me think. I'll go 7 for the top column and the 9 for the row for this particular one. So a 7 is a defensive check, and the 9 refers to the left guard. So the Lakers' left guard, he's being Jerry West. You can see way over here being guarded by JoJo White. JoJo White is rated a guard 1, which is the highest defensive level of rating. And my modified defensive ratings require a roll from 1 to 50. So if I roll that on the guard slot, and it rolls right off the page. And we're going to just say it's a 13. So a 13 for our guard 1 on defense. That's considered a steal and a fast break opportunity. So turnover for Jerry. Steal by JoJo. And a fast break opportunity occurs if I use if I get numbers 2 through 6 for the Celtics fast break offense, and I'll flip this over if I actually roll a 2 through 6 on these Celtics. And I rolled a 10, so it calls off the fast break. And then you got a 10, which is a defensive check on the Lakers of 73, and it's an 11 right guard C shot. So right guard, outside shot, closely guarded. The right guard is going to be Don Chaney. And so Chaney with just 2 dice, right guard C shot. There goes the scoreboard. There's a 10 for Don Chaney, and there's an M. That's a miss. I'll move the clock. Rebounding's another chart. As I showed you before, the chart, I can't really move it very easily, so I'll show you the old school chart. The old school chart's up here, requires a single die plus 2 white die, single red, 2 white, and we'll see how it works out there. So you grab a single. A lot of dice work in this one for Wayne. That's probably the only, it's a plus and a minus. A lot of dice, full dice activation here. So we got a 4 on the rebound chart and a 9 off screen. It's offensive left forward, and I believe he can go up with a shot. It says C. Yeah, I can do a C shot, offensive left forward. My left forward is Paul Silas. And so Paul can do a C shot here on the back, the putback, and it's a 7 on the C, and that's a miss as well. So we'll move the clock again. In this hybrid of 3 different games, it's going to be interesting to see how the stats pan out. Once again, you grab the 3 dice for the rebound. You go 1, 9, and it's defensive center, so the Big Dipper grabs the rebound. Chamberlain comes down. All dice. And we roll a 10, 10, and a 7, which is right forward D shot. So it's as simple as that. That's Jimmy Mack. D shot, which is inside guarded. 7. And there's another miss. So the clock keeps ticking. The Lakers hitting 42%. Miss. They could have used that basket. Rebound. Going to be right here. 1-6. Rebound chart is defensive right guard. So that's Don Chaney. Celtics come down. And it is a 5-4. Celtics 5-4. Right forward D shot. Their right forward is John Havlicek. D shot. Guarded. Inside 7. No good for him. So we're off to a cold start here. Grab a rebound for the teams here. We got a 3-10. A 3-10 offensive rebound. Offensive right forward D shot. So Havlicek, always a keen observer, goes for his offensive rebound, D shot, 3, field goal, assist left guard. So an assist to JoJo White. We'll move the clock. Havlicek, field goal from White. Once again, a pretty passive assist in computer basketball. And the Celtics score, lead by 11. Lakers need a hoop to come back. There's a 6. A 6-11. That's a left guard C, so that's Jerry. Jerry West is going to go up with a C shot outside. He's closely guarded. That's 10 on the C, and that's a miss for Jerry. Rebounded by, let's see, it's a 3-12. 3-12 loose ball foul. So that's a special play where you got to roll, let's see, loose ball foul. Let's take a look at this real quick. Use a 10-sided die. Oh yeah, who's it determined? Regular die determined. Even roll is the home team. Odd roll for the visitors. Odd roll for the visitors, so it is on the Lakers. So I can roll the 10 die to see who it's on. Right guard. And that's a loose ball foul on Gail Goodrich. And that's not good. That's 4 on Gail. But either way, it looks like the Lakers will lose possession there. The Celtics get the ball, and we just start playing again because no one's in the penalty. And it is a 7-11, which is a defensive check on the right guard. Once again, the right guard, Chaney. Goodrich is a defensive guard, too. I'll look at the chart you cannot see. And we roll a 21 defensive guard. It's going to be a C shot he allows. So Chaney is going to get a C shot up in the air. And sometimes it's as simple as that. 4 C shot, Chaney, good. No assist. And the Celtics bump out to a 13-point lead. The Lakers have not been able to figure it out in computer basketball yet. 4. What do we have for a 4-5? 4-5. Left guard A shot. I like it. Outside shot, unguarded. Let's see if West can bury it. Open shot. 5. Oh, another M on his A column over there. So I'm moving the clock on every missed shot for Jerry West. And rebound. We got a rebound with 3 dice. And that is a 6 and a 9. It looks like an offense, out of bounds. Offense retains possession. So we'll give a team rebound to the Lakers. Lakers needed that. They're going to just set her up. And it is a 7 defensive check, 6 right forward. Right forward, Havlicek, of course, he's a 1 at 2 positions. So, and that looks like a 6. And that's going to be a steal and a fast break. Turnover, McMillan. Steal by Havlicek. These are charts that I integrated myself. They are available in tabletop basketball board games on Facebook if you look really hard. So we'll try to run the fast break. I integrated some steals and some blocks. And the fast break will not occur. It's going to be a 10 for the Celtics. Defense of the Lakers, 9. 10-9. A center D shot. So it's going to be a D shot inside. Cowens over Chamberlain, 6. And that's going to be good. Celtics score again. And the curse of the computer basketball has continued to haunt the Lakers so far. Let's see if they can come back. Down 15. Oh, whoops. I could have sworn. Yeah, 79-64. And it's another defensive check. 5. It's the left forward. Silas defensive roll. I'm just going to slow it down. 31. And he's a defense of 1. Very good. That's the highest. 31 is a foul on Silas. Just a 1-shot foul. It is the 5th team foul, though, so 2 shots for Happy Hairston. And a 0-6 is good. Oh, I need 3 dice. Never mind. Scratch that. You can do it with 2 dice. He's basically Happy is 787, so it's basically 1 to 79. You can use 3 dice as well. Both good for Happy Hairston. And it's 79-66. 2 free throws by Hap. And here come the Celtics. All the dice. That's a 10. Lakers defense, 10. Center C. We also have if there's a special characteristic for a steal, there's a question mark next to that. I've got to remember what that's about. But right off the bat, center C, Cowens with a 10. And that is generally a missed shot. All right, figured it out. The question mark stands for a ball hawk, designated by Wayne Wiskow, as these games took place before the advent of the steal. And if anyone on the opposing team is in the game that has a question mark on a special sheet, roster sheet that Wayne has, they get a steal on the play. So Jerry West is the designated ball hawk for the Lakers. So turnover for Cowan's steal by West. Interesting little feature. We can run a fast break off this if the roll is proper. Let's see what happens. We got a 6, which is a fast break. The offense over here, 6-11. That's player, first highest shooter D shot. 6'11" Goodrich, I believe, will be the highest shooter D shot for Gail Goodrich. And that's a 10. Misfires. So all of that work by Jerry on the steal, still missed the field goal attempt. And here's the rebound. Rebound's a 5-5. So I got to make sure I put the fast break offense away. 5-5, that's going to be defensive right forward. That's going to be Havlicek. And here come the Celtics. Ball goes 4-5. Celtics, 4-5, left forward C shot. Silas goes in 8 and misfires. Miss for Paul, rebound coming up. And that's a 4-10. 4-10 is going to be offensive left forward D shot, so that's going to be Paul Silas with the board. And he's going to get a D shot off of that. Let's see what happens. And that's a 3 for Paul. D shot good, assisted by the right guard, Chaney. Assisted by Don Chaney. And here come the Lakers. 81-66. We got a 7 defensive check on the 7. That's the center. So Cowens is playing the defense, and he's got a center 2. It's not a 1, just a 2, which is still very good. 49 is the roll. Defensive center 2, 49. Field goal missed is what it's called. Good defense. Almost a block shot, went on 48, would have been a block. Chamberlain is 0 for 4, the 73% shooter, so haven't been able to figure out a way to get him to make a bucket. He does average 13 a game. A rebound, 1-7. 1-7 defensive center plus 6. Chamberlain's rebound is 44, 39 plus 6. And it does give him 45 points, so Cowens climbs the golden ladder for that one. Wilt is a tough rebounder to stop. Celtics with the ball. Goes 5-8. 5-8 for the Celtics. 5-8. Third highest shooter D shots. So third highest will be 467, 441, 473. Okay, 441. Cowens with a C shot. 10 for Dave. And that's no good for Cowens. Roll for the rebound. Very simple. Dice on everything. 1-6. 1-6 defensive right guard Goodrich. And here come the Los Angeles Lakers. And it's going to be a 7-7. Another defensive check on Cowens. And will my dice stop? Yes, it will. It's a 20 on the defensive 2 for Dave Cowens. That is a shot, D shot for the Dipper. Let's see what the Dipper can do. Inside, closely guarded. This is where he can put points in. D shot is 6. And, of course, I missed another shot for the Big Dipper. Celtic defense has been smothering tonight. Lakers are shooting 39% rebound. And that's going to be a 5-3. 5-3 defensive left guard. It's going to be JoJo. I have an old autograph of JoJo White, by the way, just on an index card. Here we go. got a 6. 6'10" on the Celtics here. First highest shooter A shot. Well, that should be a pretty easy one for Havlicek. Unguarded outside, 9. Good assist. Right forward. He is the right forward. So that's going to be 2 points for Hondo. Score it. All right. Celtics, 83. Lakers, 66. Lakers come back, a defensive check. 7, center. 11, right guard, I'm sorry. It's a 7-11, right guard Goodrich against Chaney, who is a 2 on defense. And that's a 13. Let's see what that turns out to be. A 13 is a steal and a fast break, so turnover for Goodrich. Steal by Don Chaney. And let's check the fast break out if the Celtics have it going or not. Yes, they do. It's a 3. 3, 5, left forward D shot. Left forward D shot's going to be Silas. That's a 4. Field goal and foul on the defensive forward, Happy Harrison. Count that basket. And foul is going to be on Happy. 2 points for Paul. And that's going to be about it. Let's see what the free throw's like for Mr. Paul Silas. And that's a 38. It's good. Celtics taking it to the Lakers. 86-66. I can't remember if I needed to do turnovers and stuff on this sheet. I had to do shots on it. So I will probably translate this to my PTG score clock where it's just 1 shot per move. Let's do one more play for the Lakers. They need anything. They got a 7 already. It's a defensive check on the 4. Left forward. That's going to be Silas. Let's see what kind of defense he plays. He's a 1. That's a 20. And that's going to be an A shot. Whoa, he actually gives up an A shot. Happy Harrison's going to go up. And that's a 7. Field goal, assist opposing forward, OF. So McMillan assists Harrison, and they finally get out of their little slump. So it's 86-68, and we're going to get down to closing in on the 3-minute mark of this third quarter. We're going to continue this game later in the fourth period. Just under 2 minutes to play here, and the Lakers are making a last run at the Celtics, trailing by as much as 22 points in the early stages of the fourth quarter. The Lakers have caught fire. Jerry West has pretty much brought them back, at least within contention. He has 29 points. The bench, Keith Erickson threw in a couple big buckets, as did Mel Counts with 12 and 10 points. So let's see what happens in this final 2-minute stretch, playing the final 2 minutes with PTG basketball. The Lakers have it. And it's going to be a 4. Ball's going to go to the S1, Jerry West. That's a 13, which is an 8 against an A defender. It's still good. Jerry West with a clutch shot. Imagine that. Jerry West, Mr. Clutch. 31 points. He was not having much of a game until this period. The Lakers are actually within 5. I can't believe what I'm seeing here. No assist on the play. Here come the Celtics. They got to start putting the points in if they want to subdue the Lakers. Here we go. 5, S1. That's going to be Havlicek, 21. 24, no good. Havlicek sat a lot this quarter because of fouls. He has 5 now. Rebound, Chamberlain, who's been a beast on the boards and has 6 points in the quarter. He had no points through the first 3 quarters. He now has 15 rebounds. Is there time for the Lakers? Ball goes to the 9, and 9 is the S4. That's going to be Bridges. 33 on Bridges. That's a 3 against a 3 defender, and that is no good. Good defense by Paul Silas. They were on fire. They were up to 47% from the floor. That rebound on the 3 defenders, number 29, which means missed rebound to offensive center. Wow, and that means that Chamberlain is higher rating than Cowan, so he does get it. Will grab the offensive rebound. Good break for Los Angeles with just about a minute to go. Let's go 5. That's an S5. That's Wilt, 26. 26 to 41. That's not good, most likely. That's a pass intercepted unless defender class 1, no. That's going to be an interception by Cowens. We're going to determine that. And here come the Celtics trying to just get one basket in until they put them away. 9, S1, that's Havlicek, 26. That's a 43, another oddball. 43 is palming the ball, turnover on Hondo. Another chance for the Lakers. Just over a minute to go still. That's a 6. S2, that's going to be Jerry, 14. That's a 43. Another oddball number, 43, palming the ball on West. Players are losing it in the clutch here. And here come the Celtics. There's a 7. They just want to get a shot off. 7, S3. S3's Cowens. 13 is an 8 against an A defender. Good, Dave Cowens with a capper. That could be enough for the Celtics to pull this game out. But a great comeback by the Lakers. Yeah, was there an assist on that play? I'm not even sure. Here comes a 10. S2. S2's West. 52. 52's a 14, and that's going to be a miss-rebounded defensive center. Unless the defender was not a very good defender. No, it's good enough defender. Turnover. Missed by West. Rebound to Cowens. And the Celtic fans are starting to breathe easier right now. Oh, there's a good shot right there. 7, the S3, 66. Cowens slams it home. Beat Chamberlain down the court. And so it's now 115 to 105. They're breathing real easy now. Assisted by Paul Silas on the play. And here come the Lakers. Ran out of juice. Oh, it took a lot of energy to come back. Here's a 6. S2 West, 15. 15's a 23. No good by Jerry's. Missed a couple in a row. And 31 points for Jerry, but rebounded by John Havlicek, who has really not scored much in this fourth quarter. He has 5 fouls. It looks like there's going to be enough left in the tank for him. 6 S2. That's JoJo White, 22. 1, it's good. JoJo drills it. Now they're back in gear. The 68-win Celtics. Is there an assist on that play? Cowens on the assist. I'd put Artie Williams in there, and Art Williams went 0 for 5. Said, I better at least seal the deal before I put in the subs for good. That's a 3, S3. That's going to be McMillan, 32. 32 is a 10 against an A defender, and that is going to be good. It's going to be good by McMillan, who has not had a good game. Good defense by Havlicek on him. He has just 11 points. And that 3 assist would be to West or Bridges. Let's just roll one die. We'll give it to Bridges this time. Bill Bridges on the assist. Time is running out. We just need a formality here. It's a 7. Gonna go to the S3. Gonna go to Cowan's 55. And it's good. Another basket at the horn. Celtics hold on after building up a big lead. And they're going to win 119-107. Assist on that play will go Silas again. Nice little playmaking by Silas in the closing seconds. And that'll do it. Looking at the final stats, the scoring in the fourth quarter was 35-29 Lakers, but the Celtics won the third quarter 30-19. And 28-28 in the second quarter, but 60 rebounds for each team exactly. 24 assists for the Lakers, 19 for the Celtics. Got to remember we used the original Strat-O-Matic for about 15 minutes in this game, and so the assists might be were a little bit cockeyed there. Turnovers, 20 for the Lakers, just 10 for the Celtics. Good ball handling. Unofficial steals and blocks, 8 steals for Boston, just 1 for the Lakers. That's quite low. Of course, steals were not kept during that era, and I did not have any steal recording for the Strat-O-Matic portion of this game. Once again, leading scorer in the game is Jerry West, 11 for 27 for 31 points, 9 of 12 from the line. Chamberlain finished just 3 of 9 from the floor, had 16 rebounds, only 1 offensive board as well, so he was not a force overall. He did play some decent defense. The Celtics were very balanced with Paul Silas, probably the game MVP, 21 points and 11 boards, and if he doesn't get it, Don Nelson's 17 points off the bench would be second place. Even Art Williams shot just 3 of 11 because he missed his last 5, but he was doing very well. He had 10 points, 5 rebounds, and a couple of assists. The rebounding of the guards for the Celtics may have been the difference as well. Don Chaney and Westfall and Art Williams and JoJo White are better rebounders than almost all of the Laker guards. So Cowan's 20 points, 10 boards, 9 of 17. That's good against a Wilt Chamberlain type character. JoJo White, 7 for 12, 14 points, battled foul trouble. Don Chaney had 9 points and 5 boards. And it all adds up to 43% from the floor for Boston, 47% from the floor for the Lakers. 80% from the line for the Lakers, and 80%, well, about 79% from the line for each team. Other than that, the Celtics just popped out in front early, and the Lakers did not challenge until the final minutes of the quarter. Now, looking at these games, we played 3 different tabletop board games that were available in the year 1973. I am going to make a quick ranking of all 5 of these 3 games plus more, and the top of the list is sitting right here. It's PTG basketball, Pro Table Games basketball. Plays the smoothest, has relatively good accuracy for assists, rebounds, field goals, free throw percentage. Every stat that was kept in 73, it does a better job than the other games. Second place, though, I do give Wayne Wiskow's Computer Basketball a lot of credit. The game is a lot of fun. It's pretty easy to play. Accuracy is hit and miss with that one, but it's still, if you get the amount of shots right, you're going to have a pretty good game. Third place, I'm not sure what I would give. Other games in that era, I hear a lot of positive comments for a game called Wiskow Pro Basketball. And I know from the 60s to the 70s, they did a couple modifications, and people actually really had a thrill playing this game. I can't give it too strong of a rating. I'm just going to say that PTG and Computer Basketball have got to be number 1 and 2. Some form of NBPA basketball status pro is probably hanging around in the 3rd slot, and then I just bundle the rest of them as still have a lot of work to do on their game, and that includes Old School Strat. Not a very fun game. I'm not saying the cards are great. I think if you integrated some kind of player fast action cards, they would be better. Also in that group would be APA basketball. I would say the APA short version of the game is better than the Strat-O-Matic because at least it has a cadence to it. You can play a game, the shortened version, the long version, no. But the Strat-O-Matic basketball game was slightly, probably rates a CD, not a very good game overall. The other game that might be still around in 1973 would be Big League Manager, and I hear that one's pretty arduous. I have a season of it, but I have yet to really try to put together a game for the 1974-75 Big League Manager where they had made some changes to the game to shorten it. But anyway, this has been Rod's Tabletop Hoops. I hope you've been entertained by a variety of games that were very popular in 1973. Have a good one.